Hello everyone, Waxo here, and welcome to the 6th Waxo Report for the week of February 22nd through the 26th. For those who were probably a little lost as to why there was no Waxo Report last week, well, I apologize for that. I ended up getting behind on a few projects for the channel, spent way too long on trying to decide what I wanted to do with one I had written, but wasn't quite alright on going through with it, and trying to schedule gameplays for content with friends as well. Soon after figuring that too, I started to not feel very well, which was sort of the final nail in that coffin. But here we are this week, with quite a bit of news actually this time around. So, without further ado, let's hop into the 6th Waxo Report. It's been another rocky week for CD Projekt Red as the upcoming patch for Cyberpunk 2077 has been delayed to the second half of March. In a tweet on Wednesday, the studio cited that the recent cyber attack and the scope of the update as reasons for the delay. Following the tweets, however, it was revealed that the recent ransomware attack on the company, which resulted in the game's source code and the personal information of employees stolen, has also prevented some developers from being able to work on the update. CD has also had to issue multiple DMCAs on Twitter in the recent week as some of the stolen source code has now began to leak online. As for my opinion on the whole matter, there's not much I can say at this point that neither I or others have already said. It's just really sad and unfortunate to see all these issues roll out for the once highly esteemed developer, and I'm honestly just hoping for the better for the devs for having to deal with so much crap in the recent weeks. No one really deserves any of this over a video game. Anthem next. The planned overhaul for the disappointing 2019 release Anthem has been officially cancelled by BioWare, and they will now move on to focus on other projects. On February 24th, the developer released a statement on their blog saying, "In the spirit of transparency and closure, we wanted to share that we've made the difficult decision to stop our new development work on Anthem. We will, however, continue to keep the Anthem live service running as it exists today." The overhaul, announced last year and barely having any real news afterwards outside of some blog posts, was under review in recent weeks to see if BioWare should in fact focus on fixing the messy looter shooter or move on to their upcoming Dragon Age and Mass Effect titles, with the decision swinging in favor of the latter and heartbreaking news for fans of the game. Though I personally wasn't particularly interested in it after my experience with the beta, I do find it unfortunate that this is how the game ended up. Maybe BioWare will return to it in the near future, setting another game in the universe and greatly improving on what their groundwork was. While staying on the topic of BioWare, fans of Dragon Age should rejoice as that is now the next project that they will be focusing on. And due to the unsuccessful live service that they attempted with Anthem and were planning on implementing in the beloved RPG franchise, it was recently announced that Dragon Age 4 will solely be a single player experience through and through with no live service. So fans who may have been afraid of what the upcoming RPG would have been can now all collectively sigh in relief at BioWare's decision to go back to their roots. With the recent announcement that PS4 exclusive and survival horror Days Gone will be coming to PC soon, Sony also announced that more first parties will be coming to the platform. In a recent interview with British GQ, Jim Ryan, the head of Sony Interactive, spoke on how he's proud of the games that came out in the latter half of the PS4 cycle, and how there's now the opportunity to allow for those games to branch out onto the PC platform. With the Days Gone port releasing sometime in spring, this will now be Sony's third title on PC following Death Stranding and Horizon Zero Dawn. For those Sony fans out there on PC, I want to pass the question of what games do you want to see make it to the PC in the near future? The Last of Us Part 2? Ghost of Tsushima? Uncharted? Let's get that discussion going down in the comments below. Staying on the Sony train for a little bit, they also held a state of play on Thursday evening to give an update on what's to come in the near future, and after watching it, I can say it was a bit lackluster. Nothing particularly groundbreaking was shown off during the hour-long event, except for one game that I'll be talking about later. But there definitely was some awesome news to come out of it. Kena, The Bridge of Spirits, the indie title that wowed everyone way back at the June event, finally has a release date set for August 24th. The upcoming entry in the long-running Oddworld franchise, Soulstorm, is coming rather soon with an April 6th release, further filling the already jammed-packed month. And to round out the event, an announcement of Final Fantasy VII Remake's PS5 release date for June 6th. Alongside the upgrade will also come PS5 exclusive story DLC. The upgrade will be free for those who bought the remake, with emphasis on bought. For those of you that claim the PS4 version of the remake, while it's free for PS Plus members during March, that version of the game will unfortunately be ineligible for the free upgrade, and instead will have to put down the $70 the integrate version cost. On Friday, the 26th, Nintendo held a Pokemon Direct that revealed quite a bit about the future of their beloved turn-based franchise. During the Direct, they revealed the fans of the long-running series will be able to get their hands on Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, the two remakes to 2006's Diamond and Pearl. Described as a faithful remake of the original, the trailer did show off a new chibi-like appearance to the world that seems to have fans rather split on whether it was the right choice or not. What was also revealed during the event was a new spin-off to the franchise titled Pokemon Legends Arceus, which is meant to be an open-world title set in the feudal period of the Sinnoh region. Players are going to be tasked with creating the first Pokédex, and it also seems to be trying to vary the gameplay for the franchise a bit, requiring players to study each Pokemon's behavior in order to catch them properly. Honestly, knowing next to nothing about Pokemon, I admit that this new spin on the game sounds pretty interesting. Though it's not really my cup of tea just due to never really getting into the franchise, it sounds like the varied experience that I've been hearing fans want from Game Freak for a very long time. So I'm excited for you guys. It seems like they are trying to take steps in the right direction to really shake up the franchise. This week we saw two more games get delayed out of 2021, starting with Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2, the follow-up to 2004's cult classic. What was supposed to be the second, but most anticipated game set in the World of Darkness universe to come out this year, with recent and pretty major issues with development, publisher Paradox Interactive has completely separated from developer Hardsuit Labs, and has postponed the title out of 2021, and are actually no longer accepting pre-orders. This is troubling news certainly, but it's good to see that Paradox really wants to get the game right and are taking the steps to make sure that they put out a game that appeases fans of the 2004 title. The next game to get delayed is Sony first-party exclusive Gran Turismo 7. The next entry of this 2-decade-old racing franchise was shown off during the Sony June event, showcasing the power of the PS5 and all its racing sim glory. Unfortunately, it looks like fans are going to have to wait just a bit longer for this one though, as it only's gotten a vague 2022 release and not much more info outside of that. For games that you can get your hands on in the coming weeks, we have Harvest Moon: One World. The latest entry in the life sim includes series staples such as farming and romance, and it also allows you to pick up your farm and move it to various locations on its world map. Honestly, this is the most vague title that we've run into on the Waxo Report, as even the trailers weren't very informative. Harvest Moon: One World will drop on Nintendo Switch come Tuesday, March 2nd. Also dropping on the 2nd for PS5, PS4, and PC comes Maquette, a first-person puzzle game that tasks players with navigating through a world where you manipulate items in a smaller scale version of what's around you in order to progress in areas that are larger and larger. The game is also a love story that explores modern quarrels in romance and how smaller issues in love can seem impossible to overcome. It's actually incredibly intriguing, and I highly suggest watching the full trailer for yourself. This will actually be free for PS4 and 5 owners, so if you have either of those consoles, be sure to give this game a look. And the third and final title to drop on the 2nd is Yakuza Like a Dragon. Like a Dragon is a departure from the typical gameplay expected in the Yakuza franchise that actually started as an April Fool's joke. The beat-em-up action that the Sega series is known for is instead switched for a turn-based approach this time around. Originally released back in November for the PS4, Xbox One, and Series consoles, this is the game's debut on the PS5 and will allow for free upgrades for both physical and digital copies of the PS4 version. And returning in this week's report is Spotlight, where I talk about a game that was either recently announced or more information has been revealed about that especially catches my eye and just has to be shared with all of you watching. This week we actually have two titles, the first being Sifu, a third-person martial arts beat-em-up revealed during the Sony State of Play and is developed by Slowclap, the folks behind the multiplayer fighter Absolver. The game follows a martial arts student out for revenge 8 years after the killing of his family by a gang of assassins. You set off into the world with nothing but your dope martial arts skills and a magical pendant that brings you back to life if you are to die. But there is a cost to dying, as the pendant then ages you further and further, and if you age too much, you have to start from the beginning. Having played a little bit of Absolver, getting into it way too late when everyone was highly skilled at the title, I did find the martial arts gameplay to be incredibly solid and just pure fun. To see that Slow Clap is refining the gameplay further and creating a single player experience has me excited to get my hands on it whenever it does drop. The second spotlight for the week is one that truly connects with me, playing heavily on my nostalgia and just looking cool as hell, is Team Reptile's Bomb Rush Cyberpunk. Wearing its Jet Set Radio inspiration on its sleeves, you create a custom cipher, which I imagine to be the in-world player character, that will then go on to dance, spray paint, trick, face off with the cops, and stake claim to the extrusions and cavities of a sprawling metropolis in an alternate future, or at least that's how Team Reptile describes it. Having been a huge fan of Jet Set Radio Future on the original Xbox way back when, Bomb Rush Cyberpunk seems like the long-awaited entry that fans like me never got from Sega, and it honestly just seems like it's going to be an utter blast to play. Having played Lethal League, Team Reptile's party game that also oozes style, I have faith in the developer in delivering with this spiritual successor, and will definitely be keeping a watch on it until it drops sometime in 2022. And that's where I'm actually going to end this week's Waxo Report. News seems to be picking up quite a bit again, and hopefully we stay on track as we ease on into March. We've already gotten rumors brewing about how Microsoft could possibly be having an event to celebrate the ZeniMax Bethesda purchase, but only in time will we really know if that's real or not. But now I pass a few questions off to you all. What were some of your favorite stories of the week? Are you excited for Sony first parties coming to PC? Which Pokemon title are you going to get later this year? Are you sad about BioWare canceling Anthem next? Drop a comment down below and let's get some discussions going. If you're new to the channel, be sure to hit the subscribe button and hit the bell so that you receive all notifications for future content, which you'll definitely want to do because I've got quite a bit in store coming out, some that you certainly don't want to miss. But for now, that's all I have. So until next time, take it easy.